Hello, good evening. Hi, Joseph. Hi, Shane. Hi, Random. Dude draws. Get out of here, Reese. So, I need you all to let me know if I'm having any volume issues because this would happen when I would go live sometimes. That's so weird. All right, I'm gonna pause this, I guess. Okay. Really? Man, I'm not hearing anything on my end unless it's a laptop thing. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm wearing my AirPods when I should be putting on my earphones. That's why I sound so silent. Okay, that's a lot better. What is this? Okay, so I'm gonna add some music because it's just silent on my end and it feels creepy. So please tell me if this song is too loud. So today it's just going to be like a very short stream. We're going to be reading about 3 different articles. I'll see if I can like pass through them like very very quickly, and they're actually going to be about the She-Hulk. The reason I'm going to be talking about them is because I know some people prefer to be surprised when they first see the She-Hulk show, but then they're like, it's not really what I expected. I'm like, well, no, of course not, because you had to like look it up or something like that. And that's fine, Hominus. You can watch the replay. Oh, thanks, Hominus. But there is some stuff I found that they said they're going to be talking about in the She-Hulk that I found very very interesting, and I wanted to talk about this literally a day before the She-Hulk came out, but some stuff happened. If you saw the thumbnail, I did want to have fun with it. So one of them is going to be talking about Tatiana Maslany. The other one is going to be talking about the show in general and what's going to be like added to it. And then the other one's just going to be a little bit about Jessica Gao and her work. Take care until next time. Thanks, you too, Hominus. I don't even know if you were talking to me, but I said it anyway. Oh wait, which one am I doing? I'm doing a share screen. And this is why I do not like freaking... I just realized I did this on freaking... Oh no. Yeah, I want to allow it. Not right now. Shut your face. Alright. Gotta delete some stuff. Okay, moving this around. That's always weird. It's usually the stuff I like anyway. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to go to Chrome to do this. Thanks a lot. For like, what am I on? I'm on Firefox, and for Firefox, they're like, oh, you can't do tabs when you want to share a screen. Whoops. Uh-oh, I blocked it. Blocked temporarily. Thank you. Take that off. Firefox is greater than Chrome. Maybe. The reviews are really mixed. Oh yeah, one piece called it a feminist comedy, and I think that was said to be insulting. Is this something for a very specific audience? I didn't think it was. The reason I didn't think it was because the guys that I've talked to said that they really liked it. I remember Tristan telling me that I think it was Grace Randolph. She said that there wasn't any action in the first 4 episodes. Like, there was a lot of people that said they watched the first 4 episodes. Freaking lucky. It's but there is action in the very first episode. Just because it wasn't really with like a villain doesn't mean there was no action. Everybody wanted a Hulk versus She-Hulk fight, and that's what we got in the very first episode. And I'm like, and nobody was still happy about that because the fight was great. I'm just moving everything to Chrome. Okay, we should be good now. Where am I? Okay. Let me know if you guys are seeing this. Well, it's safer. Yeah, that's true, figure drawing. I did hear that it's safer, which is why I wanted to move to Firefox. But so many things don't work with Firefox. Hi, Bianca, hang out for a while until it's time for work. Hey, Black Phoenix. Hey, Robert. Cool, we can see. Alright, so ¿dónde está? I should just be on my phone and not on a different freaking tab. Alright, so this one is She-Hulk, the head writer on reshaping the pilot, cutting CGI, and Steve Rogers' virginity. This seems to be like a really big thing just because of the first episode. And I'm like, it doesn't have to. When veteran TV writer and producer Jessica Gao, who has done writing for Rick and Morty, they also do not say that she also did write for Robot Chicken during the, I believe it was the 6th and 7th season. When she first came into Marvel Studios to pitch about the She-Hulk, i.e. Jennifer Walters, attorney at law, and cousin to Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo, it was not for a She-Hulk show. The first thing I've ever pitched was for the Black Widow movie, and I actually had She-Hulk in my pitch. She tells Variety. She was my favorite character from the comics, and I just wanted to see her in the MCU, which is understandable to me. If you have a favorite character and you like have the ability to like turn in a script and just to add your favorite character on there, You know, that's completely understandable to me. At what point, I think it was Marvel executive Brad Winderbaum who said it kind of feels like you're pitching a She-Hulk movie with Black Widow in it. Okay. She laughs, guilty as charged, but you know what? It all worked out. Gal ultimately became the creator and head writer for the Disney Plus series She-Hulk Attorney at Law, with starring Tatiana Maslany, who is the Emmy winner, for Orphan Black, which I also have to see because everybody's been recommending it to me. And as Jennifer, alongside several MCU characters, Mark Ruffalo returns as Bruce, and Smart Hulk, who trains a reluctant Jennifer in ways of the Hulkitude in the premiere episode, which is what we saw in the very first episode. Like, she didn't want to have anything to do with it. She wanted to focus on her career. But as we all know, Jennifer will ultimately like being She-Hulk. So we already know that's going to change for her. In early episodes, Variety has seen the first 4. Everybody's seen the first 4. I want to see the first 4. Where's my shill money, Marvel? Jennifer also takes on a surprising client, Emil Blonsky, Tim Roth, aka the Abomination, one of the main villains in the 2008 Marvel Studios film, The Incredible Hulk. And which has been largely ignored, which I'm glad they're adding him here. And then Juan and Matt and blah 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 and cameos. All of it in service to something Marvel's never quite attempted before, like WandaVision used the tropes of sitcoms as a metaphor of coping with trauma. She-Hulk is the studio's first outright TV comedy that happens to star a 6'7" green Hulk, created through complex and expensive performance capture CGI. Though, RIP to all the VFX's people who were working on it. Hey, Brisson. Gal talks with Variety about the false start and last-minute changes that she and her fellow writers navigated while tackling that challenge, as well as the most surprising thing Marvel Studios Kevin Feige told her while making the show. I did not know that they had last-minute changes. I wonder what they were. So what was your initial pitch for She-Hulk? My pitch for the show is pretty close to the show that you're watching. All of the kind of key foundational elements were there. Emil Blonsky, Abomination, was always in the pitch. Bruce was always in the pitch. I didn't know if I could use them. I didn't know what their relationship was to Abomination anymore, but I thought, you know what? This is what I want. So I'll just pitch it. Thankfully, they liked all of it. When I went in, it definitely skewed a lot more heavily towards Blonsky's trial in my original pitch. It was an actual trial, and it spanned multiple episodes. When we got into the writer's room, inevitably things change as you're developing the show, and as you start writing it. One thing that we all realized very slowly was none of us are that inept as writing, rousing trial scenes. Which when I think a lot of people, when they heard about the She-Hulk show, I think that's what they thought it was going to be about, just lawyer stuff for the past 9 episodes. But I guess that's not. I would have honestly loved to see that. I love this scene in The Incredible Hulk, Blonsky versus Hulk. I did love that scene too, Shane. Did you see the Snyder Cut are having Jeff Johns trending so they can continue to trash him because of his JSA Stargirl comics announcement? It makes me want to yell at these idiots. It doesn't really surprise me that they would go to these lengths, but people are gonna do what they're gonna do, I guess. So obviously you're a fan of the character. What runs of the She-Hulk comics did you draw from the show? And I know that she did John Byrne. The interviews and trailers have mentioned what's it called? Gosh dang it, Dan Slott. thank you. Though I'm wondering if they're gonna be adding a Char Soleil, because that was my favorite. Uh, your blood pressure, Robert. Robert, that's right. Listen to random draws. John Byrne was the run that made me first fall in love with the character, and so her character was really heavily pulled from that. But I mean, honestly, we cherry pick from every run, starting with even Stan Lee's first issue, which is what I saw on the show. Byrne's run, Dan Slott, and Charles Soleil. Yes! I knew it. I knew it. I like, honestly, from this one episode, I saw every single run on just this first episode and from the trailers alone. Even though I didn't read Byrne's run, I know I know what his run is about. I've seen panels of his run and how people talk about it. So that's something I also need to get. But Charles Soleil is like a personal favorite of mine. Who knows? Maybe when I get the Byrne run, I'll change my mind. I don't know. We picked elements from each. We might pull a villain from this one. We might pull a premise from that one, a supporting character from the third. Because Byrne was the one that really introduced the fourth wall breaking and the meta nature of everything. That, to me, is essential to She-Hulk, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people agree. Jennifer breaks the fourth wall a bunch in the comics, but most people coming to the show won't know that and might think you're referencing stuff that came after it, like Fleabag. Did you discuss internally how you were going to break the fourth wall in a way that felt as unique as possible? Fleabag. Gosh dang, is that a reference? I don't know. Oh, we discussed it to death, just over and over. There were two shows that I referenced in my pitch, and it was Fleabag and Better Call Saul. Oh, okay. Hopefully both for obvious reasons. I love fourth wall breaking. My dog just came through the door. What was it? I love fourth wall breaking, and I had my Druthers. It would just be nonstop, and it really was kind of nonstop in early phases. It was so much that Marvel was like, okay, calm down, this is too much. She can't just be talking to the audience the entire time. And I'm like, she could if she wanted to. I might have really overdone it because at a certain point they even asked me to do a version where there was no fourth wall breaking, but there was kind of a meta nature to it. I really love editor's notes in comics, and so for a span of probably several months, there was going to be an editor's notes that kind of popped up in little text boxes on the screen, and she would actually acknowledge the editor's box and argue with the person who was writing the notes. Then we scrapped all of that and decided, okay, let's just let her break the fourth wall, but not as much. That is kind of disappointing. Hey Phil, sorry I was late in saying hi. I would have loved to see editors boxes, because that was just a big thing in John Byrne's John Byrne's She-Hulk. That would have been so great to see. I was hoping for something like that, but now that I know that we're not, that's kind of disappointing. How did you approach the tone of the show, knowing you were making a light comedy in the middle of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I knew exactly the tone I wanted for the show from the outset. My favorite type of comedy is taking a very high concept thing, like an extraordinary being who is a Hulk, and then grounding them to the minutiae of everyday life. That's the funniest to me. Taking an Avenger who was just yesterday saved an entire universe from destruction, but today, on a Wednesday afternoon, they have to do laundry. On the weekends, they have to go see their mom for dinner or listen to their mom be at them for not giving her grandchildren. They have to pay their bills and clean their kitchen. In early episodes, Ally McBeal, which everybody keeps saying, I've never watched the show, is playing on a TV at a bar. Was that a touchstone for you all in life for the show? Oh, wait. They showed this Ally McBeal in the bar scene? I didn't see it. For the writers, it actually was not. We never really talked about Ally McBeal or reference her because I would say most of our writers' rooms was a little bit on the young side to have really known that show during its heyday, which I understand because I don't know Ally McBeal, but I was born in the 90s. But yes, people can't help but make the comparison to Ally McBeal. So Ally McBeal playing in the bar was a choice made during the post-production. Oh, so this was added later on, which I did see people talking about before the show came out. Ally McBeal was great. Robert Downey Jr. was in it. Oh, is it a movie or a TV series? Shane, were there any shows, legal or otherwise, that were an inspiration beyond what we talked about? The other show we talked about was in the writer's room was American Crime Story, The People versus O.J. Simpson. That show did such a great, fantastic job of covering not only the trial, but ins and outs of everything that was happening outside the courtroom, the lives of all the people involved, and the media scrutiny around it. All of that was just so well done. I don't think I've heard of that, but I might have to watch that for reference. How much were brought inside the process of creating She-Hulk through visual effects to understand the complicated logics of what it would take to film then render? She said, not much as I would have liked when we were writing for the show. I don't think anybody really knew exactly how we were going to do this CGI character. It was kind of uncharted territory. Something of this scale had never been done before. It was just a lot of figuring it out as we went along. Marvel is kind of a machine. VFX is one of those things where they already have their way of doing things. The machine just gets rolling. You kind of have to insert yourself as much as you can, but at a certain point, you're forced to get out of the way. So how conscious were you of the machine in writing the She-Hulk scenes, understanding how much it would cost and what you could accomplish back and forth? She produced television before. There was always part of her brain that's wearing the television producers hat of costs and imagining a line, producers screaming at me and blaming me for their ulcer. So going into writing this, I was very aware of that, but I also had no clue how much the CG cost. I knew CG was expensive. From the beginning, I asked Kevin Feige, how much can we do? How cost conscious should I be? Give me some guidelines. And he said, if I'm going to watch a show called She-Hulk, I want to see She-Hulk. That kind of was like the carte blanche to just write it however I wanted. And I remember distinctively thinking, I hope we remember this conversation and the budget comes back and somebody gets mad at me for it. Okay, so cost was a big thing. Okay, it's a TV series. Oh, it was a love interest. Are you familiar with the dancing baby meme that came from Ally McBeal? No, I do not. What happened when the budgets did come back? Were you asked to reshape things so you weren't spending much money? Yes. Once we got into pre-production and the production itself, somebody had to sit down and start figuring out the cost of everything. It was like every week I was told, can you cut more She-Hulk scenes? Can you change more She-Hulk scenes to Jen? Can she be Jen in more scenes? There were a lot of things that had to be changed at the last minute to go from She-Hulk to Jen. Even in post, we had to cut a lot of shots by virtue just because it was She-Hulk. Okay, so during the show, we're probably going to I did realize we were going to see a lot of Jen in the show, so I guess that was something they changed later on, not before. I guess she wanted a majority of She-Hulk, which is mostly what we wanted, but because of costs and stuff, we may be seeing just more Jen in general, and then, at the very ending, boom, stays as She-Hulk. Did anything change? The episode order was slightly different. We changed things up a bit in post. Most of the pilot that you see was actually episode 8. We waited till the very end of the season to really reveal her origin story. Oh my gosh, guys. What we saw was originally supposed to be episode 8 out of 9 episodes. That's very interesting. That involves a lot of scenes of Smart Hulk training She-Hulk from the trailer. Did you feel you just needed to get there more quickly? There were several factors leading up to the decision, but really at the end of the day, we just realized people really wanted to know that information sooner. It was harder for them to not know the origin story and then get to know this character. But it's like, okay, so never mind. I actually do understand. For normies, you would do that. But for somebody like us who know the character already, we're fine with having the origin story near the last episode. Since that came up in post-production, I imagine one of the reasons why you would have those sequences at episode 8 is that you have more time to work on the visual effects, especially since you got so much CG heavy stuff in that episode. Was that part of the crunch that was happening? She said, yeah, I'm sure it was, switching it up. I'm sure it made people scramble. The artists just have to do an impossible task in general, like massive undertaking. They were already under a huge crunch. In one episode of the show, Jennifer experiences how much more desirable she is as She-Hulk than Jennifer. How did you want to just strike the balance between establishing She-Hulk's strength as a massive 6'7" hero, and how would you wanted her to be perceived by the rest of the world? Big theme of the show is identity. I believe that identity is not just how you view yourself, but how you move through the world, but it's also how the world perceives you and how the world treats you. Both of those things combined shape your identity and your sense of self. Jen Walters is in this unique position where she experiences both sides of that. She gets to retain her consciousness, but she can change into two completely physical beings. That way she moves about in the world is different and much more starkly. She gets to see in real time how different the world treats her. It changes all her relationships. It changes the way every single person on Earth perceives her and treats her. And she has to grapple with the idea of I can see for reals that this person is treating me differently because of my physical body. That really does something to a person mentally and emotionally. I can actually understand some of that. Bruce and Blonsky were the initial pitch. Wong makes several appearances. We know the Daredevil's going to appear. Were there other MCU characters you wanted, but also couldn't? She says there was actually a lot that she wanted to use, but apparently there was like some sort of legal issue. Okay, so she had to ask Kevin Feige if they can actually use the characters, but they couldn't. She said, I think the biggest bummer that we did experience was not being allowed to use any Spider-Man adjacent characters because we had a lot of Spider-Man fans in that room. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. A lot of people were predicting of whether Spider-Man was gonna be in there. Like, one of the favorite things that I thought was so funny in the She-Hulk comics was that She-Hulk was I believe defending Spider-Man from J. Jonah Jameson, and Spider-Man was like, you know why he does all this? Because I'm black. And everybody in the courtroom was like, oh my god. gosh. And Jonah Jameson was like, wait, no, I got black friends. And then Peter is like, no, I'm just kidding, I'm not black. One thing that comes up in the premiere is Jennifer repeatedly grills Bruce about whether Steve Rogers is a virgin. How did you pitch that? She said, we just started putting it in scripts. There used to be a season-long runner where the thing that is constantly gnawing away at Jen is this question of whether or not Steve Rogers ever had sex. You just regularly see her like Googling it, talking about it. You got the sense that she was just constantly pestering people in her life. This question that was burning away at her soul. I can't describe to you how thrilled and shocked I was that not only Kevin was on board with answering the question, that he supplied me with the canon answer. So Kevin definitely answered this question. She said, yes, that is straight from Kevin's golden mouth. Awesome. Boop. Oh, cool. I can do more than one now. This never was able to do that. What the heck? You guys are talking about manga now? Weebs. I'm just kidding. Okay, so She-Hulk Attorney at Law review. Verdict is a laugh out loud, total KO for Tatiana Maslany's Marvel comedy. Well, from the first episode, is not. There were some things that I did laugh out loud at, but not the entire thing was laugh out loud. Definitely not. A lot of this, the comedy stuff was like a hit or miss. Okay, She-Hulk is a delight. Unleashing a healthy serving of Dorothy Parker tinged satire, pulling from decades of legal tropes, Tatiana-led comedy, Rick and Morty vet Jessica Gao, which, if you don't know, she was famous for her Pickle Rick episode. So, whether you love Pickle Rick or you hate Pickle Rick, whether for the comedy or for the story, I actually like the story better than the comedy in that episode. Oh gosh, I just remembered something from that episode. But I did laugh at that episode. And I'm like, okay, cool, she got an Emmy for it. Addressing here is lifted from the comics from 1980, Deadpool, Fleabag fans. Okay, so Fleabag is an actual show or movie, I guess. There's a lot of high quality CGI. Why are you lying? The quality is not, it's not high quality CGI at all. Okay. The fact is, humor has been Marvel's secret weapon. Though, like, it's kind of weird because the humor in Marvel is now described as Marvel humor. Like, their humor is so predictable that it's called Marvel humor. What's up, Bianca? Hey, everybody in the chat. Oh my gosh, hi, Rhea. But like this humor for She-Hulk is definitely a different humor than not She-Hulk. She-Hulk's humor is definitely different than Marvel humor in general, and I guess that's why I just liked it a little bit better. But lots of the humor were a hit and miss, and I can't tell if that was Diana Schwartz's, if that was her decision to write that, or if it was this person whose name is Chip Zag Frick. I'm not gonna try to pronounce the last name anymore. Truly integrated by the genius of Robert Downey Jr.'s insecure and simultaneously arrogant Tony Stark in 2008 Spider-Man, Iron Man. Kevin Feige run Disney division has followed the Goffnaz from the most of Tom Hiddleston take on da 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 and Taika Waititi. I did not see Thor: Love and Thunder, but I did not like Ragnarok. I did not like. I love Taika Waititi's movies because, like, they're from his stuff, even if they were based like on movies or whatever. He just did his own stuff, but this one he is connected. What he's doing is a Marvel film from the MCU, so having it like switch completely on the third one is what I didn't like. Apparently, the guy who plays Thor, what's his freaking name? Oh my gosh. I know his brother's name is Liam. Oh no. Yes, I did not like Ragnarok. Like, it was trying to be too funny, and that's Taika's thing, but it should not be like in an MCU show so much. What We Do in the Shadows hype. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I have to see Jojo Rabbit. I believe that's what it was called, Jojo Rabbit. But like his comedy for literally almost everything else, perfect. What he did with Thor, didn't like it. And that's like honestly just a me thing. I mean, Ragnarok is objectively bad, but if you like it, that's completely fine. So it says the first 9 episode first season specifically gives an unabashed nod to Ally McBeal and is almost overweight with self-described, self-conscious, social media energizing cameos and guest stars. Wow, that was a lot I just said. Which I find weird because they said that they didn't have Ally McBeal in their minds in the first place because they didn't think people would know it from, especially this era. Jojo. Thanks, Shane. Jojo Rabbit. Okay. I may have accidentally got the wrong article. Like, I literally had this since like a few days ago. Oh, well, actually, I was supposed to read this before She-Hulk came out, so I guess that makes sense. She-Hulk moves at a brisk pace, but not a breathless pace, which, from the first episode, I do agree with. It's not breathless, it's kind of brisk. The jokes breathe, sometimes, especially for this episode 1. The plot lines pan out, the characters move in and out of the world Gao has fostered with a bit of farce and a whole lot of whatever that word is, conviviality. In that context, She-Hulk is much saucier and overtly sexual than any previous Marvel series originating on Disney Plus, which isn't a stretch when you consider the competition. A lot of people seem to forget that Disney Plus now has like parents and kids or adults and kids content now. Like ever since the update, they were like, hey, are you over 18? And I'm like, yeah, I'm over 18. Give me all the 18 plus stuff on Disney Plus. You will see, after having put kids to bed, the series feuds to varying degrees of victory with patriarchy, Twitter armor, pathological entitlement, modern love, white-collar workplace politics, superpowered influencers, and a whole lot of spandex. Though I don't understand what degrees of victory with patriarchy means. I do see her using social media in like the trailers and like dating apps and all that stuff. Everything else, besides victory with patriarchy, because I don't know what that means in this context of She-Hulk. Everything else I'm just like pretty hyped for, but I will keep an eye on the victory with the patriarchy thing because that's not something I saw in the first episode, especially when in the very first episode she realizes that she was wrong. Marching to the emotional core under comedy, there's also a genuine of friendship with She-Hulk from Walter's BFF and paralegal Nikki Ramos, portrayed with panache by Ginger Gonzaga and fellow superhuman division lawyer Augustus Pugliese by Josh Segarra. Sorry that I butchered the name. Building off some of the strengths of the often unappreciated Miss Marvel, the final TV offering of Phase 4 is a skillful swan song and is deservingly intended to fly further afield. And that blah blah blah. And I'm done. You don't have to give me strength. God, I have it myself. Okay, that not gonna lie, that review kind of sucked. Oh, Brodan, you're here. Oh, I bet you like over 18 stuff. Like over 18 stuff in Disney Plus is literally just stuff with like cursing. It's not anything big. Patriarchy is a red flag. I think it's a red flag for the reviewer when he reviewed it. In the first episode, written by Dana Schwartz and Chip, difficult last name, she has, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but many months ago or last year, there was a woman named Dana Schwartz, and she made this controversial hot take of, if you are a guy and you grew up with South Park, watching South Park, then you grew up to be like misogynist. And everybody was like, no. That makes no sense at all. I mean, a lot of people who watch South Park will have like edgy humor, but not every person who watches South Park is terrible. Like, not every person who doesn't watch South Park is a good person, right? And I guess she like doubled down on it and all that stuff. So if she's writing something on there, I can definitely see a lot of like things that are like talking about sexism and stuff. Like in the first episode, there was a lot of them did like go into the conversation, so I was like, okay, I can see how this is working. But then there would be random type parts where he's training her, where Hulk is training She-Hulk, and they both like, I'm pretty sure you saw this in the trailers, they both are on a cliff and they jump over to the other side, right? And when they did, she was like stomping her feet and she was making hoo 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 sounds. And I was laughing at it. I thought it was funny because I actually do that stuff with like friends or family or co-workers. Like, yeah, we'll do that stuff in the workplace and mimic each other. But then she starts saying men while stomping on the floor, and I'm like, okay, that's not funny anymore. What's the joke? You could have said Hulk smash or me strong, even as just like a reference to how Hulk had a minimized speech pattern. But no, the words they chose were men, and it didn't fit at all. And I'm like, no, you ruined that joke. Thanks a lot. I remember way more racism than sexism in South Park. I agree. She's just picking fights for attention. I also agree. The biggest part of selling is promoting. Yes, like the character token, which apparently is spelled... Oh my gosh. Tolken. Which is like Tolken in a random episode. They're like, no, Tolkien, like the author. And I'm like, wait, what? And apparently, somebody was talking to me about that, and they're like, it was originally Token, but it got changed, or excuse me, or something like that. It's been a long time since somebody told me about that. Oh, thank you, Shane. I know I spelled it wrong. I was like, I'm pretty sure there's an I in here somewhere, but I don't remember where it was. Okay, so we are going to be on the last one. I'm on the wrong one. No! Chrome. Okay, so Tatiana Maslany wants to use her powers for good, including within Disney. Okay, so long before She-Hulk, she had an affinity for mean green fighting machines. The Emmy Award-winning actor was a serious Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan as a kid, and because of this, we stan her because of this. And to this day, she happily admits her fondness for the quartet of pizza-loving superheroes in a half-shell, and she's quick to name 1991's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze as her favorite of the franchise, even though it's quote one that everybody kind of doesn't like, unquote, which is actually kind of true. Like, I didn't know number 2 was like that hated. I mean, they like it better than number 3, but I was that person who loved number 2 over 1 and 3. More perfectly, Maslany comes out of the brothers. Sorry. More importantly, Maslany's favorite out of the brothers is the sigh-wielding, short-tempered Raphael. Yes, we stand, because she picked a good turtle. Her affection runs so deep that when 1993 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 comes up in a conversation, she easily recalls a moment in the film when Raph shows his softer side while connecting with a kid that she found moving. That was actually also my favorite part in the third one. And also Mikey teaching the Japanese about pizza and frisbee and all that stuff. She says, quote, "I thought he was hot for some reason." Maslany admits with a laugh during her recent video call, which I feel like says terrible things about the people I'm attracted to. Guys, she's a furry. She's a furry confirmed. She had a crush on Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh gosh. I definitely don't understand that at all. Totally. I've never had a crush on a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Never. Shush. This love for the Ninja Turtles may explain why she decided to make her superhero debut as Jennifer Walters. I really like using the whole 6'7". Oh, okay, so, She-Hulk, created for television by Jessica Gauss, follows Jennifer Walters as she gains the ability to transform into a green, super-powered 6'7" version of herself following an accident, whereas the Ninja Turtles' origin involves their exposure to radioactive ooze. Jennifer's life is changed after coming into contact with her cousin Bruce Banner's gamma radiation-infused blood. The third one was amazing, Joseph. Obviously, the second one took a different tone than the first one, was because parents complained about it. They said it was too dark. And so that's why they went more comedic. And then they complained that the second one was too comedic. And then the third one is the one we got. Like, parents be ruining everything. The new TMNT side-scrolling game was legit. Side-scrolling game. Turtles don't have fur. That doesn't mean they're not animals, okay? Stop being specious, Brenson. Because yes, there are turtle stuff. Like, don't look them up. I've never looked them up. That was not sarcasm. I've legit never looked them up. People hated the second Ghostbusters as well. I actually liked it just as much as the first one. Really? I've heard people say they really like the second one. The third TMT, I wiped it from my memory. What scared me with the third one was like they're lighter in tone. You see, it's a different costume, and sometimes the lip syncing didn't match. That's how bad it was. Banner, portrayed by Mark Ruffalo, is a better known as the Hulk, whose anger triggers his transformation, and a separate personality he cannot control. The idea of unpacking what this physical transformation meant for Jennifer Walters that convinced Maslany to audition for the role. There's so much conversation around women's bodies and bodies in general. She points towards the response to the show's trailer as an example. That's the juiciest thing the show can talk about, the perception and what it is to occupy a different body and to be received societally, is that a word? Differently. The expectations we have on women's bodies, and what they mean about how we can treat them. I think that a big part of identity is not what you think and how you feel and how you move in the world, but also how the world receives you and what the world is giving back to you. Both of these things shape a person's sense of self, and She-Hulk is an extreme physical version of that. Even if she's the same person inside, it does change how she acts and how she thinks because of how the outside treats her, and that's a lot that she's going to have to grapple with emotionally. Hey, James. Gao's comedic approach to these themes, which is very human relatable, was something Maslany has not expected from superhero series. So despite her general reticence about auditioning for something on a scale of a Marshall project, she still decided to try out for the role. She did say that she auditioned. She's known for playing, Orphan Black, starring in Orphan Black. She admits she never felt drawn to bigger projects and that she finds as much excitement in smaller independent short films as she does in productions of a grander scale, which she was in. Oh, look at the doggy! She was in the movie Ginger Snaps 2. It was not as good as Ginger Snaps 1. But she was amazing in it. I'm like, I do not like this movie, but she's freaking amazing. And she was a kid, and she was blonde, so I she looked completely different. Maslany started acting as a child while growing up in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. She joined every improv team, every community theater, young people's group that she could be a part of. She suspects that it was the thrill of being in front of an audience that really spoke to her and kept her acting in her youth. Despite working constantly at the age of 9, she says that she didn't start understanding and studying acting as a craft in earnest until she was an adult, and points to John Cassavetes, A Woman Under the Influence, as the catalyst. I've never heard of that. That sounds like a comedy. Have you seen Ryan Kennel's review of the She-Hulk? No, because I do not subscribe to Ryan Kennel. So I do not know that he exists unless somebody talks about him. Ginger Snap sucks. Which one? Because 1 and 3, 1 was a lot better than 2 and 3. 3 was a lot better than 2, at least. Or maybe you suck, Princeton. Okay, you suck. Which Ginger Snaps also got. I was looking at the reviews, and there was actually a lot of hate for it, because people were like, this, I didn't want to see like a feminist horror movie. And I'm like, it's feminist? How is it feminist? I didn't get that at all. And they considered it feminist because The reason they're turning is because of it's a metaphor for like periods, which I didn't get until after I saw the movie, and my cousin was like, "Did you get the metaphor?" He was the husband in Rosemary's Baby. I'm guessing Rosemary's Baby is something. Ryan was flaming it up, yet he is homophobic as AF. I've never heard the term flaming it up. I'm guessing that's the opposite of gas you up. Rosemary's Baby, okay. Feminism wouldn't have been the worst thing about that movie. Though it was kind of weird because it wasn't just showing girls in puberty, it was showing the guys in puberty, because she was like spreading it like a virus, which was like kind of like STDs, I believe. And so the guys were having like messed up faces, like pimply and all that stuff, and oh my gosh, bleeding. It's a movie. Okay, thank you. I haven't even heard of it. I don't even know who Roman Polanski is. I think any woman changing into a monster is going to be a metaphor about periods. Ever seen the one where Anne Hathaway is telepathically connected to a giant monster? No. Why does that sound like weird territory? That sounds sketch. I'm not gonna lie. No one wants to see a movie about periods. I do. Like, it can be educational. I see YouTube videos about periods because I'm learning a lot about myself, and I didn't know stuff that could be freaking serious, and I'm like, oh gosh, I have to go to doctors. Horror movie. Woman is impregnated by the devil. Cult 60s Mia Farrow. They did a TV remake with Zoe Saldana. I don't think that's for me. I don't want to see a woman impregnated by the devil. Which I have seen animes of that though, which is kind of weird. Right? It was so weird when the guy started bleeding, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And the thing is, I didn't know. And so when my cousin was talking to me, he was like, that's kind of like, virus, disease, or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got that. Yes, I was frozen in ice. The Shining elevators had periods. I still haven't seen The Shining. I don't want to. The only horror movie thing I would watch is werewolf movies. I can't watch anything else. Maybe some vampire ones, depending. So, Miss Lonnie admits that she had more fun in interviews when she wanted to nerd out about her work, which is understandable. Conversation flows easily through discussions about the themes of Orphan Black, series about autonomy and identity and exploring multiple possibilities contained within one person, relate to She-Hulk's exploration of bodies and perception, and how trans musician Sophie, with her layered sounds and the experimental nature of her work, was an inspiration as she played She-Hulk, and even how the gray motion capture suit she had to wear for the scenes in which Walters is She-Hulk helped inform her portrayal of someone who feels a bit of an outsider in her larger green form. Roman Polanski, his first wife, was murdered by Charles Manson. What the heck? Okay. Okay. So it's showing that people who worked with Tatiana on She-Hulk complimented her a lot. She's great to work with, honest, soulful, vulnerable, intelligent, caring actor and person. I feel like she's doing exactly what she's supposed to do in her life, and also uses that platform wisely. The platform that allowed her Maslany to the ability to speak frankly about allegations of poor working conditions for visual effects artists working on Disney projects like She-Hulk, which itself has come under the criticisms of VFX. In this, she's been joined in expressing solidarity by executive producers Gao and Kat Coriel. Gosh dang. Oh, it's because I need water. I think there are incredibly difficult working conditions, and if you don't have the protection of a union, then you can be taken advantage of. I'm just in awe that they were able to do with very little support in that sense. I know that my union as an actor is incredibly important to me. I think it's really important to have those systems in place that protect people and that ascribe their skills and value respect. So if you've seen anything promotional with Maslany in it, a lot of times she's going to have a shirt that says support trans futures. She saw it as an opportunity to reach an audience and show the community she stands with them as an ally. Better still, if being clear in her beliefs can contribute even a small way to help make change. I'm aware of what reach images like that have, and I'm aware there have been the bills passed in Florida. She's talking about providing money to politicians that pass anti-LGBT laws, bills, whatever. I know how little it costs me to do something like that. I'm incredibly privileged, and I'm very fortunate to have the platform I do. I'm very supportive of people who are fighting on the ground for LGBT rights. That community means a lot to me, and if there's any way I can continue to voice my allyship, then I'll do it. Maslany's thoughts on doing good in a way that she can reflect the questions Walters will have to confront over the course of She-Hulk. Walters, a lawyer dedicated to justice in the court of law, doesn't believe she should have to give up that commitment just because she's gained superpowers. But as with fame, that doesn't mean it'll go smoothly. She has a life she really cares about. She doesn't want to have to do this other thing that feels foreign to her and like it doesn't fit. Which I understand. You have a comfort zone. You have a comfort zone. All right, guys, that was all for the articles. I know. I wanted this to be 30 minutes, but I read too slow. So it actually ended up being an hour. I did want to add a Q&A. So if you guys have any questions that you wanted to ask me, feel free to ask them. You're welcome, Shane. So this definitely should give a feel, or at least some idea of what how the next episodes are going to be, and I'm honestly interested in how they're going to be doing that, because I remember the article of Jessica Gao saying that she wants to talk about body issues, but she wants to do it in a comedic way, and I'm like, okay, I will accept that. Comedic is comedic. Figure drawing, you have a question. Okay, then you can say it. What is your favorite indie comic right now? I just finished one called, where'd it go? It's called Tyrant, which with Tristan, I did a video with on Nerdette's newsstand video. I talked about Tyrant, and that's honestly a lot of fun. I'm waiting for them to do the second issue. So that's the one I'm really enjoying right now. There was a lot, but I think that one really hit me. Will you go out with me, Bianca? No. I don't know you. Will you and Tristan do a review of each episode? Probably not. We didn't even talk much about Miss Marvel. And I was like, you want to do anything Miss Marvel related? Because we didn't talk about the episodes. She didn't. I don't think she really wanted to do it, so we decided to do something else. So we might not do every. I think she just wants to do like just one episode review should be fine. That kind of thing. If you grilled a Dotson, would it taste like? Oh, you mean a dachshund? Is that how you spell it? That's pretty funny. Would it taste like a hot dog? Probably. How about a Dachshund? I don't know. Dang, I should have had that thing that Saki had, where you just go to that platform and you just ask a bunch of questions. Question, will you watch the first few episodes of Paper Girls to see if you like it? Yeah. I remembered you talking about Paper Girls. I have to get my family's Prime Video account though, because it was on my old phone, and now I have to re-download it and like have their information. Do you have any gaming systems? Yes, I do. Right now I have a gaming laptop that I'm using right now. I have a PS3. I have a PS2. I have a Nintendo Wii. I have a Switch. My coworker is thinking of selling me his PS4. Question, will you do streams more often? I want to, but like today was my day off, so I could have done it today much earlier, but I didn't wake up. But like for work, like I leave at 8:30, and then if nothing bad happens that night, then I can get home before 9. But if crap happens, then I get home around 9 something. And then many times when I'm recording with Robert, it's literally around that time. That's awesome. I wish that's awesome. I want to switch. It's I just play dating sim games on there. Oh no, I do have I have Smash Bros and I have Animal Crossing. Hacketh you Nintendo Wii. Hacketh your Nintendo Wii and ham brew it up. What does that mean? I love sleeping. I love sleeping too. But with my IBS, if it's more than an hour, which I think it was, it craps with my stomach. And I do feel like crap. Dating sim what now? Dating sim games. There's these games that look like they're anime, and there's one for girls and there's one for guys. Guys obviously have more of a variety, I guess. They have a lot more than girls do. And if you're a guy, then you can choose between any one of the girls. If you're a girl, then you can choose with any one of the guys. Sleep, what's that? I don't know. IBS, I'm sorry. My mother has that. It's you get used to these things. That new IBS pill I'm on has been working great for me. Like for me, I wasn't able to take rather cold showers or even wash my hands with cold water because of how badly it would affect me. After taking the pill, my body temperature kind of reached to its normal state, I guess. And so, like, now I can wash my hands with cold water without feeling I need to have a hoodie. Mod your Wii to play ROMs, GameCube ROMs, SNES ROMs. Wait, but the Wii can already play GameCube games. I have a Pokemon GameCube game, and I just stick it into my Nintendo Wii, and it plays it just fine. You need the GameCube controller, which I do have. Me and sleep aren't friends. Oh, that sucks. Question: is your Wii the type with 4 GameCube controller ports? Yes. Is it 4 or 2? It's 4 or 2, one of those things. But I only have one because I'm the only one that played the GameCube Pokemon game, and that's the only freaking GameCube game I have. I have insomnia, so I really love falling asleep. My sister's the same. Like, we have rather tea, like lavender tea, chamomile tea. There's golden milk, and then there's like CBD stuff. I barely sleep 4 hours a day. No! I like to sleep, but I wake up after 4 to 5 hours, and then I can't sleep anymore. What the heck? Are you guys using any type of technology 30 minutes before you sleep? You're not supposed to. Chamomile is good. It is good. Apparently I can't have it, though. But, so I guess I have to switch to lavender. Which lavender's not bad either. I'm down to 4.5 hours of sleep. It's scary, bro. You guys are like stressed or whatever. Oh my gosh. What? I didn't know I could do that. You guys aren't even the only ones that I know sleep 4 hours. Like, my work can hire like 16-year-olds, right? Minors. Now. And like 16, 17, 18. Every single one of these weirdos be like, I have 2 to 4 hours of sleep at night. 2 to 4 hours. I usually fall asleep watching YouTube and wake up after 2 or 4 hours. No! I did hear that if you used melatonin on like a specific schedule, like say for like 2 weeks, you have melatonin and you take it like 10 o'clock every night for the past 2 weeks, your body will kind of produce its own like melatonin and like be like, hey, at 10 o'clock you're supposed to go to sleep, right? And I was like, I should be doing that. Maybe not with melatonin, maybe for something else. At least he's not like Leonardo da Vinci. His sleep patterns were wild. What the heck? Hello, Niobe Comics. Reese, you have insomnia too? What the heck? Oh, Shane, your body's probably used to that melatonin by now. That's probably not working anymore. Dang, why does everybody I know have insomnia? You do know that your body produces melatonin, right? If you use melatonin too much, then your body stops producing it. That's when you realize that you took too much, which is why it's usually like recommended for like 2 weeks, and that's it. Just so your body can say, hey, I'm supposed to be sleepy at this time. Yeah, your guys' body is used to the melatonin. Like, you're immune to that now. I had to talk to Liana K about this, about my sleep cycle. And I was talking to her about melatonin, and she's like, well, no, your body produces melatonin. But, like, if you're too reliant on melatonin, your body will be too reliant on you getting the melatonin. And then your body won't produce melatonin, and then that's, will hurt you. Yeah, I know. It wasn't supposed to happen this way. Tony, shut your face. You know what? I guess an hour or something, hour 30 minutes, that's considered a short stream to some people, okay? Plus, on my thingy, it says an hour and 17 minutes, okay? I sleep 4 hours a night and I'm all good. That's true. Some people do feel rested like 4 to 5 hours, There's some people who have to sleep 10 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 3 hours, that kind of stuff. So it also depends. Have you ever tried intermediate fasting? That's already my life. Because I was afraid to eat anything. And it gave me an eating disorder. Like, do you know how weird it is to not eat? And then you gain like 20 pounds from not eating? Like, that's some bullcrap. Yay, still live. Hi, Phil. We're on to the Q&A section now. So, anybody wants to ask me questions before I end the stream, you're welcome to do so. If I use tech before I sleep, of course I'm a cyborg, but I run on Windows 98. You need an update then. That's your metabolism going into storage mode. You need to eat something. I know, that's what Liana is helping me with. She's like, yeah, you need to eat. And I'm like, yeah, I know I need to eat. But I've had this since high school, so I'm used to not eating, like literally having 1 or 2 meals a day. And my sister was like, hey, let's try intermediate fasting, which is like you eat a lot of food and then you just don't for the next few hours, and that messed me up so bad. And one of the reasons, because of how my stomach is, I get full extremely quickly. Like, think about it like this. As a kid, I can eat about 6 pizza slices that are like large to extra large, right? I can get, depending on like which pizza brand, I can barely get past 2 without feeling full. That's how much it's changed. Snowflake, hi, you're here to visit. Hello. Is every single person here a night owl? Why would I eat a window figure drawing? That makes no sense. 5 a.m. Sleep 4 hours a day. Okay, so sorry, I muted myself for a second. Early bird, night owl. A curse as a college student. Yeah, I agree. Dang, so everybody got these different schedules. Bianca, because it's so many brain body benefits. Eating windows? I don't know about that. You understand what that means? Somebody was like, have you tried intermediate fasting? And they said they're referring to like eating for an 8-hour window each day on some days. Do you know what that means? I thought you were smart. I'm just kidding. I can't have coffee. It's 11 p.m. I'll take the tacos though. Snap, you about to dox Brisson, Shane? I see that, bro. Okay. Oh, so are we going to the gardens on Tuesday? Okay. I'm just trying different musics. Sí. ¿Segura? Claro que sí. You punk. You want to know what Kevin? Are you done? All right, coolio. So I'm gonna end the stream right here. If you guys have any more questions, write it in the comment section and I'll answer you. Yeah, you want to say something? No? Okay, that's what I thought. Everybody have a great 4-hour sleep, I guess. And good night, guys. Make sure you guys are hydrating too.